Hi folks, Josh from Tough Call here. I put out a video last night about the scrum at the end of Game 4, the Stanley Cup Final. And there was a lot that was in it, but I'm just going to focus on one part. Alex Pietrangelo of the Vegas Golden Knights got a penalty for puck over glass with about 27 seconds left in the game. And he was in the box when time expired. So he had jumped out of the box and then glided down and ended up joining the altercation that was taking place after the hit by Brandon Montour on Braden McNabb as the time expired, or after time expired, really. And that ignited a huge scrum, and Pietrangelo came down and joined it after he got out of the box. And I suggested a 5-game suspension like anyone would for leaving the penalty box to join an altercation. And I asked for suggestions about maybe making allowances for the fact that it was Florida had the goalie pulled, so they had a numerical advantage and that sort of thing. And there was over 300 comments on that video in a day. And most of them, for that part, were saying, well, what's he supposed to do? The game is over. You're allowed to leave the box. So it's not leaving the box to join an altercation. He's just going to leave the box because the game is over and the attendant opened the door. You can't suspend him for that. Someone even put, what's he supposed to do? Stay in the box till Game 5? I found that quite an amusing comment, so I appreciate that one. But no, I'm not suspending him for the fact that he left the box. I would ask or wonder about, and this was a topic of discussion, I would wonder about whether there should have been a suspension for leaving the box and then going in and joining that altercation. He obviously wasn't part of the original altercation, as most of the players on the ice kind of weren't either. But after that hit, everybody sort of just went in, and everybody was pushing and shoving and grabbing as they do. And Pietrangelo had to leave the box, glide over, and become absorbed into that. That's different than being on the ice and just sort of morphing into it. He left the box. Now, he didn't leave the box specifically for that purpose. And the circumstances are different for the rule book, which I think is actually a 10-game suspension in the actual NHL, for leaving the box to join an altercation when you're not supposed to be out of the box at all. I know that's a different circumstance, but there is something to be said for the fact that he left the box, but he didn't have to go join that altercation. He was not, like I said, part of the original melee. He just became part of it because he went down there and engaged himself in it. And to me, that is different than just a player being on the ice. It would be the same as a player who left the bench to go join a celebration with the goalie and then get involved in that altercation. At this point, it was clear there was an altercation going on right as the buzzer sounded. He had time to realize that before he got out of the box and not go down and join it. And I know people are saying, well, of course he did. His team was outnumbered. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe we should allow that to happen when teams are outnumbered and he's just kind of trying to even it up, so to speak. But that was the discussion I wanted to start. And it was unfortunate that people just wanted to say, well, he was supposed to leave the box, so it doesn't matter if he joined the altercation. Because to me, players are supposed to leave the bench too at the end of the game. But if they did, we'd probably be saying, well, they shouldn't have been part of that altercation. So that's the difference. I just wanted to try and clarify that difference. Because typically, a player leaving the box, once an altercation is going on, he's not supposed to leave that box until the Florida players are cleared out anyway. Like, you're not supposed to go down and celebrate with your goalie until the end zone is clear and the opponent is out of the way, and it's kind of, quote-unquote, safe to do so. But players just do it because nothing generally happens. But technically, that's what Pietrangelo should have done. He should have waited to leave the box until everything was sorted out, because right now, the game is over, so he's just like any other player leaving the player's bench. So if any other player had jumped off the bench and joined that scrum, we'd be asking a lot of questions. What's the difference here? He could have just as easily either stayed by the box or skated over to his bench, but he didn't. He went down and joined that melee. That was the debate. Should he be punished for bringing himself into that? It's not the fact that he left the penalty box. It's the fact that he left the penalty box and then joined that scrum. That's what I'd like you to focus on. I appreciate some of the great suggestions that were in there, but kind of try and get your mind away from the fact that, well, of course he was supposed to leave the penalty box. That's not the point. The point is, was he supposed to leave the penalty box and go down and join that melee? So with that said, maybe we make a few more suggestions about how that rule should work. Thanks for watching that video. Thanks for commenting on it. And I hope we get a more focused discussion under this one.